We had a customer experience tour in LA last week. I'm just back, and it was an amazing week. It's the second time that we went to LA, and I'm liking it more and more because you have these positive vibes. You have a very international audience that you see, and the cool thing about this tour is that every day we saw an individual that just blew our mind. First day, we saw one of the leaders of Liquid Death. It's a new brand of water, basically. And for me, that is just insane that you would launch a new water brand. I mean, it's a saturated market. There's so many water brands out there. It looks like the most dangerous drink in the world, but actually it's purified water. And the founder could speak about marketing in such an incredible way that everyone was just really, really amazed. And then the second day, we saw Niels Juel. I'm sure you haven't heard the name Niels Juel. So a guy is sitting there, we say, yeah, Niels Juel. And then he starts with his introduction. He started a number of technology companies, sold them. And then he said, you know what? I have this thing on my bucket list. I want to become a film producer. And he produced films like The Irishman. He produced films with Scorsese. So he's a hotshot in Hollywood that was suddenly sitting there. And he's also the founder of NFT Studios. It's a little bit like crowdfunding, but then through NFTs. He said, and for me that was shocking, he said, none of the Harry Potter films are profitable. And the reason why they're not profitable is because there's always a deal that the producer or the actors get part of the profit. So they said, we need to change this. We're going to work with NFTs, make it fully transparent, and we're going to make blockbusters with our fans and our community. And he was super, super passionate about that. And then on the third day, we saw Nancy Liu. We had Nancy Liu on our tours in 2013 and 2014. And then she was working on a company called Unplug, if you remember, Peter, which was like selling advertising in an interactive way on screens. I remember that we had Duco Sickinge with us on that tour. And he was so impressed with Nancy Liu 10 years ago that he halfway the tour, he said, I'm not joining you guys anymore. I'm traveling with her and I'm going to buy part of her company. She invited us in her house. So we went to her house. We were sitting next to her swimming pool and talking about, her life. And the cool thing is she got bored with Unplug. So she started producing TV shows as well. And in her living room, we saw her Emmy. So I could hold a real Emmy that she won with her hobby project. And her dream is now to make a $20 billion company. That's her next little project. But the way that she tells it and how she, open-minded she is and the energy that she has, it was insane. She said, when I fly with a plane, I always book the middle seat. I have two people I can pitch my company to. If I have an aisle seat, I can only pitch to one. That's her mentality. And then the last people that I want to talk about is some guys that we met from an advertising agency, Concreatus, it's called. We met the two founders, Vincent and Joe. And this is, the most unique advertising agency in the world because Vincent, in his previous career, ran a drug cartel with an annual revenue of $350 million a year. And Joe, allegedly, he robbed 27 banks and both had to go to prison for about 10, 12 years. They met each other. They came out and they started this company because they believe that if you are a successful criminal, that you are more creative and that you have more creative skills than any other entrepreneur has. I can tell you this meeting was mind-blowing. They said, it's all about transferable skills. I wasn't running a drug cartel. I'm in logistics. Joe is like, I'm not a bank robber. I'm someone who sees escape routes everywhere and alternatives in just a split second, because everyone can rob a bank. That's not the hard part. It's getting away that is the hard part. And I successfully got away 26 times. And you know what the crazy thing is then? After the meeting, everyone wants selfies with these guys. And I was thinking, this guy run a drug cartel of 350 million for a couple of years. Who knows what this guy did to some other people? And we were all like hugging and taking selfies. So the power of storytelling is extremely, extremely valuable. That was my conclusion after that meeting. But just to give you a flavor of how unique this tour was and what kind of people we have the privilege of meeting in a week like that. And of course, we went to big companies, Snapchat, TikTok. We saw a bunch of well-known brands. But for me, these four individuals made the trip very, very unique. So I'm very happy that I could experience that.